What's good, everybody? My name is Jordan Lewis. I'll be playing the role of your inner conscious today. Thank you for joining us for this episode of the ReEvolve Media Revolution podcast featuring Nyukyung. Before we dive in, I wanted to talk a bit about sacrifices and what they've started to mean to me. Most people are familiar with the phrase that when one door closes, another opens, but we rarely bring to attention the counter, when doors start opening, that others start closing. And what I mean to say by pointing this out is that in the relentless pursuit of success, whatever that means to you, whenever opportunity comes your way, you will always be giving up something of equal or greater value whether you're aware of it or not. I don't know why that is, but I can say it with certainty. Humans just aren't capable of containing very many blessings. Or maybe we're just not at that point yet. I mean, I bet you can't name one successful person that didn't have to give up an important aspect or two or three from their lives in order to pursue that success. Use this information wisely. Close some doors. Success doesn't come easy. This interview with Nyukyung is sure to prove that. All right, what's up? I'm here with James, also known as Nyukyung. He hails from Vancouver. What's up, James?
What's up, bro? Appreciate you guys having me.
Yeah, man, of course. Welcome. It's great to have you. So we were just going to get into a little discussion before we even started recording, but we started recording just to get this involved. I mentioned that you go by Nyukyung, but in 2018, I recall you went by Nyukyung. Am I saying that right even?
It's close enough. It was Nyukyung. Nyukyung. That's how you're supposed to say it. With like a G, so it's like Nyukyung.
Nyukyung.
There you go.
Okay, I got you. Nyukyung. Okay.
Man,
okay.
You have to dig through the archives to find that one, eh?
Nah, man, it's on your resume, first track.
Yeah.
You killed it with that one too, man.
Oh man, that brings back a lot of memories.
Kidding.
Yeah, that was my first project that I just wanted to, release to see how it worked. I didn't know anything about releasing music. I just been releasing stuff on my YouTube my whole life. But yeah, that was the original name.
For real.
And then it was kind of difficult for people to pronounce. So I was like, man, how can we brand this in a way that people can do?
Which people were having trouble pronouncing that made you need to change it?
It was just it was guaranteed, but it was a guaranteed butcher every time someone read it, and it was but it was funny. I thought it was good for branding. I thought it was kind of cool. People always talk about it, but
yeah, that's hilarious. When do you correct people when they fuck it up?
I mean, at first I was trying to correct people, but I realized it's just, man, the amount of time it takes to teach someone that. Usually, in my experience, it's like, oh man, maybe we just go with Nyukyung and have a play on words.
Dude, honestly, so is it spelled the same?
Yeah.
Like then and now?
Yeah, same thing.
Dude, that's brilliant. Honestly, when I first saw the title, I was pronouncing it Nyukyung until I forget where I saw that it was written Nyukyung, but dude, that's dope. So yeah, that the resume came out in 2018, and so that was your first release. I think somewhere in there you said 10 years in the making, though.
Oh yeah, resume. Yeah. I mean, I've been making music for so long. Resume was just my first. I had no idea how to release stuff on Spotify or anything, so that was my first just go at it.
Okay, tell me about the pre-releases. I was trying to dig a little deep, but I couldn't really find anything before that.
You could, if you ever want to dig in, you can go on my YouTube page, and then if you look through the videos, there's videos from 10, 12, 13 years ago of me rapping and trying to figure stuff out.
That's dope, man. And would you represent that stuff today, or are you kind of putting that in the past?
I mean, that's all a part of my history. That's all a part of my development and how I got here. So I credit the past for sure. I learned a lot when I was a kid, and it's just kind of the same thing. I'm just older now, and I know a lot more.
That's what's real, man. And do you see it as pretty good work back then, or?
Yeah, sometimes I listen to my old stuff, and I get kind of surprised because, man, I had bars, I had flow, and you could hear a lot of that, the things that I do now really well. You could hear the development, but you can hear, that I had it back then too, and it was just cool to see.
That's what's real. Yeah, I feel you on that, man. That's awesome. Yeah, you've done a lot of development, I guess, since then. One of my questions, though, is for that intro song for Resume, the beatboxing that you rapped over there. Who did the beatboxing?
So that was one of my high school friends, and actually even middle school friends. I've known him for so long, and he always did this beat. He loves to beatbox, and whenever we would hang out, I would just be like, "Yeah, man, just keep beatboxing." And I remember I was just trying to be so creative back then and try to do different stuff. And I was like, "Hey, man, why don't you beatbox? And I had like a really bad mic and everything, but we made it work. And then I was like, hey man, just beatbox to this and let me get on this.
That's so dope. Yeah, man. Honestly, it turned out so sick. When I was listening to it, in the back of my mind, I was like, man, I hope you didn't find this beatboxing online, and I really hope there's a story to it.
Yeah.
So that's so sick that it comes from back in your day.
It was just me trying to be creative and doing cool stuff because I was like, man, being an artist, I was always trying to do something different or do something that I thought was cool. Always experimenting and stuff growing up.
Yeah, for sure. So you've been in hip hop pretty much since the beginning then, eh? Or at least interested?
Yeah, ever since I was around 9 or 8, that's when I was recording on like those little boombox things with the tape recorders, and I thought it was super cool.
Back in the day, man. Honestly, man, I watched your video for No Fear. I think it wasn't No Fear. I can't remember which video it is right now, but you had a bunch of your boys. Must have been your football team. Real one. Man, you had your entire team there with you, and I feel like that's part of your persona is you just like kind of pull people in and they work with you and they're just down to work with you. Yeah,
I mean, Real One, it's crazy because, Resume I released, but I wouldn't consider my professional releases actually to be just the May of last year. And the Real One was kind of like when I came back into it, like after, doing football and trying to figure out my next steps after Resume. And that was my first like real music video. And then speaking of that music video, the guy who filmed it is the one who does like most of my videos. And I actually live with him now. So it's crazy how it's crazy how that last year.
That's real crazy. Yeah. That's real crazy. How many videos have you guys worked on in total so far?
I mean, we have a lot of videos that were just never released too, right? We probably done at least 20, 30 videos together.
That's crazy, man. And is he the only person that you live with that's involved in your projects?
Yeah, I mean, I moved into his house like with his parents because it's for the sole purpose of us being able to work together. And then, it's just me and him. We're always doing video stuff. We're always planning. And then I just always go to my producer's house. And I just have like this close circle, right? And we're always working. And we don't need anybody for any help with production because we do it all.
That's crazy, man. And so your producer, Lomax, he's been around for how long?
Lo, I didn't meet him until... It's another story with him. It's crazy. I didn't know.
Oh, he's not the producer you're referring to.
Oh no, Lo's been done all my stuff this year and a little bit of last year, but it's only been like 6 or 7 months since me and Lo have really just started doing it full time together, and he does everything for me now. But gotcha. It's just crazy. Like Trap Harmonics, the album I have right now, is kind of the sound me and him developed, and we're just kind of adding to it and improving on it all the time.
Yeah, you guys cracked that out in 7 months. 6 months.
Probably actually only about a couple months. We knocked that out.
That's crazy, man. Honestly, Trap Harmonics as a piece is absolutely incredible. You guys pulled off something really, really dope.
Thank you, man.
In my opinion, man, and I'm just talking my own shit, but honestly, the stats speak for it too. I don't know. You probably keep up with your stats. You're probably pretty proud of it.
Mm-hmm, for sure. I mean, I have a great marketing team and guys that I know, and I mean, we're always promoting and trying to do creative stuff, and some of my friends are just super creative, and we're just never stopping, right? And so we're really proud of that project because it is like I consider that really like our first like professional, since my graduation in the spring, like my full-time first project.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. We're going to get into your team a little bit more, but first I actually want to take it back to your football days. You're originally from Tacoma, Washington?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Tacoma.
Is that where you grew up playing football?
Yeah, so I mean, while I was doing music, I mean, I didn't actually start music until I started playing football at like 9 or 10.
Oh, okay. And then, happened at the same time?
Exactly. And then it's crazy because my coach, he would drive me to practice every day, but we'd practice in Seattle. So it was like I was always in that car with him every day for a couple hours, and plus we had practice. And I used to be, hey, I want to rap. And he used to like support me. And I remember I used to be playing him all these tracks that I would make. So I would make like 2 or 3 tracks, and then I'd be showing him, and I'd be showing all my friends and stuff. And then it's been like that for a long time. And then now,
man, before the age of 10, you were doing that.
Yeah, I used to be like, hey, I recorded this with my gaming mic, like my little headset. Let me know what you think. And he'd be trying to help me and teach me and stuff growing up.
That's crazy, man. Having that support system is like so vital, especially at a young age.
Oh yeah, for sure. It definitely changed, and it developed like a mindset in me to never stop, right? Just to keep pursuing.
For sure, I agree with that. And so, what got you in? It seems like you got a scholarship.
Yeah,
and that's what brought you into Canada.
Yeah, so I'm a mama's boy. I'm a self-proclaimed mama's boy. So I like to stay close to my family. And I had a lot of offers to play football on the East Coast, but it was a little too far for me. I think the accessibility was not good. And then last minute, when I was trying to make my decision, I went to a camp and I met this coach who coaches here in Canada, and it was only 3 hours from my house, just driving though. So I was like, wow, this is kind of cool. And I talked to him, and it's weird because when I talked to him, I didn't like ask if he would, because I knew I've always had this just inner confidence. Like I always know I'm good at what I do because of the work that I put. I just know I'm good, right?
Yeah. Like it's gonna come no matter what, because that's the formula.
And so I remember talking to this coach after camp. I was like, "Where are you from, coach? Like, how's it going? Nice to meet you." And it's like, "Yeah, I coach at Simon Fraser. It's 3 hours from here. It's like a beautiful place." And I was like, "Say less." I was like, "Recruit me." And I looked at him. I was like, "Offer me." I was like, "Offer me." It's like, "What?"
Yeah,
I was like, "I know you need players." And I was like,
"That's crazy. You know I'm good."
Yeah, you know I'm good. I'm the best here.
Yeah.
I'm like, you should offer me. What are you doing? And then he was like, "Oh,
that's crazy."
Yeah, and then he didn't have like a card or anything, so I was like, "Oh, this guy's playing around. No wonder no one's going to the school." And then, but he hit me up the next day after watching my film online. It was like, "Hey, man, we'd love to offer you and love to have you here." And I was like, "Oh, bless." And then that was 5 years ago.
Watching like your like a play tape?
Yeah, my high school highlight tape.
Yeah. That's dope. And then he got you on, and then what happened?
And then I came here
from Tacoma.
Yeah, I went here from Tacoma, and it was a new experience.
In Vancouver, right?
Yeah, and then it was a little hard adjusting because I was so used to being at home. But then now this is my second home, and I still live up here. And I graduated. I finished my football career. I ended as a senior, like leader, captain type of thing my last season, and so it was a cool career. I made a lot of good friends, and a lot of my friends actually do business stuff, help me with my marketing, and we're always planning and having meetings and trying to figure out how to advance the brand.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. So how many people from your past, or I guess not from your past, sorry, from I guess Tacoma are on your team right now, I guess, supporting you and more than just like listening to your music?
It's crazy because my team in Tacoma, like I have a couple friends, like my friend Isaiah, who I grew up with, who's been supporting my music, but it's weird because my team was actually just created here in Canada. So I don't actually have much of a team in Washington. I just have a couple people that support, like my mom, of course, and then my friend Isaiah.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. I heard you turn down to play with the pros, though. Is that what's that about?
Yeah, so basically, my first dream for a long time was, I wanted to go play pro ball. And then as my senior year, was ending, I had to make that decision. I was like, hey, do I want to go play pro? Do I want to like pursue this? Or do I want to like hang up the cleats and really take music full on? Because, if I went and played pro and everything worked out, I would have had, it would have been cool. I would have had a paycheck, and football would have been like my full time, my job. But honestly, after playing for like 10, 12 years, a lot of stuff on my body like hurt. I was like, the process was really daunting on the soul, and I was like, man, I think it might be time for me to do something else.
No doubt, man. And that seems honestly like a smart decision, especially with how well you're doing in the music scene. That's crazy. Would you say at that point in time when you made that decision that you were kind of equal at your skills, football and artistry?
It's weird. The last 2 years, or the last year or so, I really shifted into being more of a musician, right? So it was cool because it was crazy because I had to balance out being a full-time, athlete, then being a full-time student, but then I was also a full-time artist. And at the time, I had a relationship. I had so many things I had to balance, and then things had to go, and I had to cut things out, and I had to really prioritize. Yeah.
Make room for what mattered, right? Yeah, that sounds cold, but you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, it's just there's just not enough time. Literally, there isn't if you try to be all those things. And the thing is, you can't be great at anything if you focus, on trying to be great at too many things at once. So I was trying to really just dial in what I was focusing on.
That's something that I'm starting to key in with a little bit more for myself as well, man. I noticed in your biography, you call yourself a full-time artist, and I feel like a lot of artists out there aren't full-time artists. Mm-hmm. And in that, I say that with confidence because I've seen some of your stuff, and the way you release like music videos and projects, and even I don't know, have you done a bunch of singles? I saw singles peppered into Spotify, but I couldn't tell if they were just off of albums.
Oh yeah, I do singles all the time. I'm always releasing stuff, just trying to figure out different content. But yeah, full time for sure. Because I remember 2 years ago, man, everything has a weird story for me. Everything like happened in a weird way, but
that's why we're here, man. Let's flesh it out.
I remember 2 years ago, I just entered this contest, and this was like what the start of my love for contests. But I got like 4th place, and I was so mad.
What was the
It was
contest?
just a song contest online,
Okay, all right,
and
all
I
right.
got fourth
Yeah.
place, and I was so mad because I was like,
Whack.
man, I swear I could have won, and then I was like, but me knowing me, it's like, man, how could I? It was never like I was mad at people. It's more, okay, how can I prove? What do I need? Like blah blah blah, and and that's all I was thinking about every day. Like I didn't sleep.
Yeah.
That's all I thought about. And then I was
Yeah.
like, man, I need to invest in better equipment. I need to understand music more. I need to know how to record. I need to know stuff more. And then I
Yeah.
remember I opened a line of credit. I dropped like $18,000, and I was
Man,
like, forget it, I'm gonna do it.
that's wild,
And I
dude.
got my own studio. I bought all my gear, and I've been paying it off. And honestly, I've made actually way more money than I actually initially invested. But at the time, my music career was not really there. But I took the chance on myself, and there was just
And
something.
you dived right
Yeah,
in.
there's something about me. I was like, look, I have to. I'm gonna put myself in a position where like music is my professional job. And then ever since then, I was able to start a business. I make money off of music. That's how I pay my rent. And then I also do it full time. And I have a team, and that's what we do.
And with your team, I noticed on your Instagram a change. I don't know when it happened, but a co-founder of a label.
Yeah, so that was we were just kind of talking with another label that wanted to bring me in as a partner, and I've been like working with them for the last couple of weeks, but I don't know if it right now it's just kind of that's in the works. If it doesn't work out, it's okay. It's just figuring out a medium in way like where I would run the label. But still, it's just all about like working with people and making sure that's good, right? As of right now, it's all good, but I don't know. As I'm learning more about the details in the industry, I'm doing like a crash course and learning all this business stuff right now.
Yeah, yeah. So tell me a bit about that though. Like, what is the significance of having a label for someone who's been independent for so long? I know. Obviously, like being a founder, like
Yeah.
at the top is much different than being part of a label at the bottom. But tell me the significance for from both ends.
I mean, the biggest thing is signing myself, right? I feel like, I don't want to be in a position where another label owns my stuff or they tell me what to do. So the offer that this label in particular brought me in was, hey, they would fund me in my career
Yeah,
and they would but I would take control and I would bring the artists I need. And my goal would be to run everything because, yeah, I'd be paying money back to the company, but because I own the company or a part of it, it's like beneficial.
I see what you're
So it's
saying.
like, because my biggest thing is to create, empower, and to educate. Like those three words were to sum me up. My career, that's how I feel, and I
That's
feel
brilliant.
as if that's a way. There's no better way than to own your own like label or to have something that you call yours because it's just something empowering about being like, hey, I don't need anyone else to dictate my life for me. I'll just do it myself. You know.
That's the truth, man. And so, do you think that most artists should strive to evolve to that level?
I think artists should try and think bigger
Bigger.
because right now I think the vision is I think a lot of people are too clouded with the vision like right in front of them, but everything has a you know what I mean? Like in 10, 15 years, I probably won't be making music because I want to go write a book and I want to go do inspirational talking. Like I want to do so much more and I have so many more plans, right? Music is just a stepping stone for me. Like I love music, but I want to be able to set something up that's remembered way like after I'm gone.
I agree with that, and the beautiful thing about music though too is when you stop making it, it's still there and it's
Mm,
still giving and it's still providing residuals not only in income but in the impact that it has onto its listeners, right?
for sure.
That's incredible, man. I love that. What do you think the next step, I guess, would be when you're thinking bigger than being a label?
It's kind of like streaming, right? I'll just use streaming as an example, right? Everyone's so tied up in the Spotify and things like that. But if you think like someone like Jay-Z who saw like these issues and how the industry paid out, right? It's like, okay,
Yeah,
he made his own streaming platform, right? Like there's mediums and people don't ever think about that. They're like, wow, we could make our own streaming platform. I was talking to my producer Lomax and he's from Vietnam, right? And he was like, and we have like a good like
yeah.
relationship over there because a lot of my fans like on Facebook at least are from Vietnam, and so we're just trying to think of ways like, man, how can we connect the mediums? Like how can we could we create our own streaming platform? You know what I mean? We're trying to figure out ways and avenues that we can take
I dig it.
because it's not about just like music anymore. It's about selling yourself as the person and the entrepreneur and being intelligent and finding the next way to succeed.
I agree with that wholeheartedly, man. And what have you found is kind of like the best way to succeed?
Well, the big thing is for me. recently just always trying to improve, right? I'm always reading books. I'm always reading like audio books. I still do my fitness. I'm still training. I'm planning. I'm building networks. I think the biggest thing is networking right now, building relationships, and just never burning bridges and just taking every opportunity, as a lesson. I think that's the biggest thing, and having that mindset, because you have to be a bit delusional to want to achieve things. Because when I was a kid, if people had told me, hey, like, you'd never play college football, or you'd never make it, there were a lot of things that people didn't believe. Even one of my friends, when I came in to play 5 years ago, they were like, wow, this kid wants to be a rapper. He just wants to play for, like, he's kind of crazy. Like, he's really like obsessed with these things. But then if you would have told me 5 years later that, I was going to be number 3 on iTunes when I released my album.
I saw that as well.
Yeah. The old me wouldn't be like, oh, like, actually the old me would probably be like, 5 years, like, it'll probably happen tomorrow. Like, I'm that kind of kid, right? So it's crazy. My younger self.
Most artists are, man. Most artists are. They think they'll launch that one fire song that'll send them to the top, but 20 fire songs later, we're still sitting here.
Just got to keep releasing them.
Yeah, that's true, man. It's a game of numbers, and you do have to just drop that one fire track. Mm-hmm. But I guess that fire track for you off the album is Desire.
Desire? I mean, Desire was a good one. That was my first one.
It's the one with the most streams. That's why I bring it up. It must have got picked up by some blog or something.
Desire, I mean, it hit a lot of the algorithms, and it was just a lot of people. Because that was a song originally made that I won a contest for.
All about the contest.
And then
this wasn't the 4th place contest, the inspiring one.
No, I won a lot of contests. Ever since that one debacle of me getting 4th, I've won a lot of contests out of revenge.
That's crazy, man. You just came with the heat.
Yeah, and so
that's hilarious. Did you ever use the verse from your 4th place for anything?
It's still on SoundCloud if someone wants to look it up.
Oh, it's on SoundCloud. All right.
I mean, all my music is pretty public, but I reused that beat though for my slow song on my Moonlight album.
For your slow song on your Moonlight album,
It's called Slow.
Volume. Oh yeah, Moonlight Volume 1. Yeah. Was that a mixtape or?
Yeah, it's just like an EP.
Yeah, I guess the titles don't really matter this day and age when you're releasing your own music.
Yeah.
We're gonna take a quick break and listen to Nyuking's track "Big" off his recent album Trap Harmonics.
Yeah, look, I don't back down. Shorty sent location and I came to blow it back out. Said she got a man, we can move into the background. Topic of discussion, it's the king and I'm the man now. Ask round, Brody make the beat, I spaz out. I'm tired of all you rappers claim me nice when you want them out. Talk loud, in my ear you like a small child. I remember last year when I had never rocked the crowd. Things changed, co-signed by the big names. Put me in a category, laughed and I switched lanes. I say, look, hear me when I'm talking. Couldn't afford the parking meter. Had no drip, my ex embarrassed when I'd have to meet her. I made it out a different country, now I'm trying to wipe a teacher. Got my bag, I've never thought that I would be here, Facts finest, the price he created diamonds. The silver lining when no one else was shining. I am next man, flexing yo X-Man. Big chain got me dancing like I'm Rick James. 10 bands, run it up, expand. Shit changed, now we only doing big things. Big bands, then we got big plans. Hot damn, know a lot of y'all are big man. Big drip, come at me, big risk. Big moves, all we do is big shit. New king, winning is a routine. Where my life is going, Nathan, that's my make a movie. And I've been making moves enough to point that I would lose sleep. None of y'all are on my level, please don't take that loosely. I just bought a diamond chain just to say I did it. New suit walking out, it's tailor fitted. I heard your girl like my music, you just won't admit it. A college athlete, and I heard you weren't even admitted. Yeah, I flex hard, at least I'm not another fraud. And I got all these blessings on me, fans treat me like a god. Food for your thought, couldn't stand working for him, had to be my own boss. Though you wonder why I brag a lot. You were two of growing up, you didn't have a lot. I spend the money always making sure I'll make it back. I could have been a pro, told the teams I wanna rap. Told them that I wanna rap. No cap, young legend, call me Bojack. Hit it out the park, when I'm done you all gon' know that. Hottest duo out of Venice, me and Lil Max. 7-4, be the gang, it's fact. Can I stop? Probably not. They wanna put me in a box, they all mad, I got it locked. I done took a lot of shots, hit in my business. I started this and I finished, I'm winning, checking division. I'm marking it with precision, it's demolition. I rap it, I listen vicious, I rip it. I hope you resting and pissing, that's worth to all of you pussies. And nothing's given, don't give in. I gave up hoping and wishing, and now you watch my neck glisten. I made a business from killing you bitches. Next man, flex on your ex, man. Big chain got me dancing like I'm Rick James. 10 bands, run it up, expand. Shit changed, now we only doing big things. Big bands, then we got big plans. Hot damn, know a lot of y'all are big man. Big drip, come at me, big risk. Big moves, you know how we do is big shit. Next man, flex on your ex, man. Big chain got me dancing like I'm Rick James. 10 bands, run it up, expand. Shit changed, now we only doing big things. Big bands, then we got big plans. Hot damn, know a lot of y'all are big man. Big drip, come at me, big risk. Big moves, you know how we do is big shit. Next man, flex on your ex, man. Big chain got me dancing like I'm Rick James. 10 bands, run it up, expand. Shit changed, now we only doing big things. Big bands, then we got big plans. Hot damn, know a lot of y'all are big man. Big drip,
All right. So we're back with Nyukyung. Welcome back, man.
What up? What up?
Okay, so I don't remember where we left off, but I'll just pick it up from somewhere random. I gotta say, with your lyricism, man, I love your flow. Your flows are fucking tight. You're so versatile, and you're hilarious. You drop some funny lines in there.
Thanks, bro. I try to be pretty lighthearted.
Yeah, I'm sure you catch yourself laughing at yourself every now and then.
All the time. I mean, I enjoy making music, and the person I am is who you're going to see in my music. So there's no point in trying to be too serious or whatever. It's all about making good music at the end of the day, right? Yeah, it's just funny because, like, you know, me and my friends, it's kind of like dark humor. People will like send each other memes, and sometimes it'll be kind of dark, but you know, you can't help but like laugh. It's just kind of like there's just kind of some humor to it, you know, when just with your friends. And for me, I'm just like, man, everything is, you know, I feel like when you put this hold on something, or you want to make it seem, you want to put it in this like bad light, and you want to feel like it's, you know, the truth and the reality of the situation. These things happen, right? And bad situations are always going to happen, and it's just how you react to it and how you live every day is going to affect, you know, how you get affected by that situation. Does that make sense?
I agree, man. No, I think so. It's more like how you acknowledge something. Yeah. Is what gives that thing power.
Exactly.
Like, be it good or be it bad. Yeah. It's what values you hold with it that actually like make it bad or make it good, or make it evil or make it like amazing. Yeah. So back when we were talking before about you having to drop football to do music full time, you kind of made it seem like you had to drop a couple other things as well. You want to go into detail with that?
Yeah. So when I had just released. So my first single was like officially, like I would consider my first ever single was my song called Let It Spray in May. And I won a contest for that one. That's how I started. And
Let It Spray in May?
Yeah, last year.
That's a title, man. Yo, okay.
And so I won this Anno Domini contest, which was my first like big contest I won. And then I was going through like relationship troubles, and I had a girlfriend at the time of like 6 years, right? And yeah, we had to, you know, she was out. We were trying to figure out like our future, right? Because I was like, oh, okay, like she got accepted into Yale, which is cool, good for her.
All right, and yeah, good for her.
I was like, hey, I don't think I'm gonna go pursue to play pro ball. And she was like, oh, okay, so like, what are you gonna do? Like, what do you want to do? Like, maybe we can move in together, blah blah blah. And I was like, I'm gonna rap. I was like, I'm just rap. I was like, I'm just gonna rap, and she was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna be the best. I'm gonna go full-time music artist. Like, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do.
Wait, and did that blindside her? 6 years, and she's blindsided by this life-changing decision?
Well, because she was like, because she knows I love music and that I do it hard. I think she just was scared of
the implications
of just what it meant. Because when I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. And it's not even like, oh, I'm kind of gonna, like, I'm gonna do it. And so she was like, oh, crap. Because I had seen her like a couple months beforehand when I visited home. Yeah. And I remember I was running off of like 2 hours of sleep in the whole week. I had to, as soon as I saw her, like I couldn't even see her. Like I had to use her place. I had to stay there so I could shoot a video that day. And then the next day I had to shoot another video. And then I remember going there like the night, waking up early in the morning to have a meeting with a producer to give me advice before I shot the video. It was crazy because like the grind never stopped, and I was always like pushing, and she was like,
yeah, you're always working.
She knew that while she's going to Yale and trying to figure out, like, she knew that I wasn't going to let anything deter me. And I think for her, it was kind of exhausting because she was like, holy crap, here we go. Like, because she knows that I don't play. Like, but she was like very supportive of everything for me ever since I was a kid. Like, ever since we met. Like, I remember I didn't have anybody to take me like football camps, you know, because I just had a single mom and she always worked. So I remember she would even like my football visit here, like she drove me or she helped me drive up here to Canada, and she drove me to my camps because, you know, I had to perform, right? So sometimes I couldn't be driving, but I had to take these trips and go to these camps and meet these people. And she was like very supportive. But I think
that's awesome, man. As busy as you were, that's crazy.
Yeah, she was like just a big part of my life. But I think when I said like the music, because she was kind of looking to be like, oh, how, like, what about the future? Like, are we gonna live together? And stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't even think about that. I'm trying to go take over the world.
For real, yeah. And so what came from that then?
So basically, you know, we talked. I had been kind of growing distant because I was so focused on my music career. I was kind of taking her for granted. And so what ended up happening is we broke up. And
did you guys come to a mutual decision, or someone break the other apart?
You know, she broke up with me because she explained to me, right? And I was like, at first I was like, wait, what's going on? Because I hadn't seen her, and I thought we were okay, right? I knew that, like, I had to be better in the relationship. Like, I had to make time. This kind of goes back to where I was telling you about, like, juggling my time. Because right now the situation was I did all my football workouts and stuff, like my team mandatory things in the day. And I would do school in between. Because at this point, I had stopped taking online, like, in-person classes because I realized that the time that I wasted from going to class, coming back to class, and, like, eating in between was actually, like, a lot of wasted time. So I did football, scheduled all my classes around football, did all my online so I could do that. And then at night I didn't sleep because I did music throughout the night. And then I was trying to start my music business to make myself money just doing music. And so we had a 40-hour commitment with football. And then we had a full-time school load. And then I had a relationship. And then on top of that, I was trying to, like, create a team and do music videos all the time and, like, trying to figure out content.
Man, you are, like, redlining your whole life, eh?
Yeah, I was focused and I still am focused. It actually hasn't changed, but I remember I had to choose. There were a lot of nights I remember where I had to choose between finishing my recording or finishing my project or, like, calling her or, like, answering the phone for her. You know what I mean? And, like, I had to I made the decisions because in my mind I was already thinking, like, next future. I was like, okay, well, I'm really going to make this work because now this is going to be how I'm going to make money. I'm going to support her if we have a family in the future, right? But I wasn't thinking about the current situation. I'm so visionary, like, focused.
Yeah. You weren't realizing the life that's going on around you outside of yours.
Exactly. And that was an issue. And it's all good, though. I mean, it ended up happening. I learned a lot of lessons from it. I've seen a lot of shorties, you know, since then. met a lot of shorties.
Man, no doubt.
I love the females. I love them. And yeah, that's what happened. I mean, that was, like, my first big, like, heartbreak because I met her in high school and she had supported me in my dreams. And honestly, I wouldn't have been able to grow the way I did without her by my side because I was alone a lot of my life. So it was cool to have her, you know, in the transitions to college and going through college. And she was just always there. I remember we went through a situation where, like, I couldn't go back home, but she went to Seattle for school. So she was able to drive back home and, like, help my mom and stuff. So it was, like, really good. It was, like, a good, she really helped. And like, I'm always thankful. Like, I don't actually have any bad blood or I don't have any, you know, any negative feelings towards anybody.
Yeah. Are you guys still in contact every now and then, or is it completely cold turkey?
Yeah, I haven't talked to her in, like, a year, but I see her stuff on, like, Facebook or she posts something, but I'm not, like, actively reaching out.
Gotcha.
I don't have this.
So you're still, like, social media in touch.
Yeah, I don't even think I deleted, like, pictures and it was weird because, like, I always have love for her, but I don't know, I'm kind of cold-blooded too, where it's just like, okay, I get it. Like, it was just like, I just gotta, you know, it's not like lingering where I'm like, oh crap, like I'm trying to hit her up. It's like, I actually have a lot of other things to do. So I actually don't have the time to, like, do that.
I feel you on that. Like, you can look at a great photo of you two, maybe from, like, 2014, and you can look at that and say that's a great photo and not really attach emotion to it, right?
Exactly. And I think everyone was on my journey and helped me, or I helped them for a reason, right? At the end of the day, like, I got to move on. Like, I can't waste too much time dwelling on the past because, you know, and I can't spend too much time dwelling in the future, right? Like, I've learned now that I just have to do the necessary steps right now and have that delusional belief that whatever I do is going to succeed. Because I full hard, like everything in my being believes and knows that I'm going to be successful. I mean, a part of me just a part of me always says like, I'm already the best. The world just needs to catch up, you know?
Yeah, man, that's crazy. That's mad inspirational too. And you got like the stats to back it up. And I'm not talking about the numbers. I mean, like people say you got to sacrifice or make sacrifices in order to succeed at things. But man, your sacrifices are huge in comparison to, well, to mine first and foremost. But I guarantee you to the majority of motherfuckers out there that are trying to make it in this game.
Yeah, and it's just like, and people are always like talking about like, I mean, I don't have that much money, right? But, you know, to fund my promo and to figure things out, right? Like I always found a way, and I don't have a label backing me, right? But it's just about being smarter with your money and stuff like that.
For real, man. And you took a deep dive, 18,000, and you placed a big bet on yourself. And obviously, like, I don't know, it's tough to say you're betting on yourself when you know you're betting, right? Like you've got that confidence and you like know what's gonna happen. It's almost like foresight, right? You can kind of see the future a little bit. You just gotta wait for it to happen.
Yeah, the question is never what the vision is, right? It's more about it's about forgetting about the when, but just understanding like what's gonna happen in the future, and then just staying focused on the vision.
Yeah, I get that, man. Have you always kind of carried this way about yourself, or like when did you become the motivated Nyukyung who just like kind of heavily focused and geared into, like I said it before, redlining it, man?
I think it started when I was in second grade.
Let's take it back to second grade. Let's do it, man. We got what year is that? We got 9 years old. Now we're at 7 years old. Let's do it.
Second grade. I remember one day I went up to my mom. I was like, "Hey, mom." She's like, "Hey, son, how's it going?" I was like,
"Hey, son." That's your mom talking. Hey, mom. Hey, son.
Yeah, we were speaking in Korean. I was like, "Hey, mom."
Gotcha.
She was like, "Hey, what's up?"
All right.
And I remember going up to her. I was like, "Hey, one day you're not going to have to work as hard as you do now." She was like, "Wait, what?" And I was like, I was young, and I was like, "Hey, mom, like I see that you're always working and stuff, and I know this is not like the life you want to live. Like I promise, like I'll make it one day, and like I'll help you and make sure that everything's all good." I remember I told her that when I was like, and then because I think even before then, I asked her a question before that. I was like, "Hey, mom, so if you die," like, because it was just my mom who took care of me, right? My grandma, my grandparents, like my sister, those were like, that's my family, right? And so I was like, "Hey, mom, what happens?" And she told me to this day, this what has kept her like working so hard to help support me, because their thing was like, I remember, I don't know why it came to mind, but I was like this young child, and I come up to her, I was like, "Hey, mom, so like, I was kind of thinking the other day," and I'm like this young kid, right? And I was like, "Hey, so mom, if you die, like how am I gonna, like, what do I do?
What am I gonna do?"
Yeah, if something happened, because I used to worry about my mom, because my mom used to not even sleep at our house. She used to sleep at the store that she worked at. She used to sleep in like the office.
Work that much.
Yeah, she used to.
Man.
Yeah, no.
People these days make jokes about doing that just because they get only like an 8-hour break in between.
Yeah, no, she literally used to sleep in the office of her store.
Used to sleep in the office. Yeah. That's crazy.
And the only time I could see her was when I would have to go, and I would have to actually like spend the night to hang out with my mom. You know, I was a young kid. That was the only time I could like spend time with my mom, because she worked holidays.
And you just rip it to the store and chill with her.
Yeah, and I used to eat all. That's why I was such a big kid, because it was a convenience store. So I used to eat all the food while I was there.
Yeah, that's dope, man. So I'm kind of getting that your motivation comes, like, obviously, maybe it was inspired by your mom, not obviously, but it seems that way.
Yeah. My mom was a big part, because I just used to see. Because I didn't realize it until I got older, but like my mom actually like slept in an office. Like that's crazy to me. Like she wasn't at home for like Christmas or like holidays. Like she was literally working all the time to support my sister and I, and for whatever endeavors. Like I remember like when I told her, I was like, "Hey, mom, I want to play basketball, but I don't know how to play basketball." I remember, but I didn't know what to do. So all I did was, this is why I said second, third grade, because in third grade I was like, man, I really like basketball. I really want to try it. And so I was like, man, I don't know how to play basketball. There's no one to teach me. I was like, okay, well, we have a basketball at the house, and I know every day we have recess at school. And so there's a basketball hoop. And I was like, okay. So what I'll do is I'll practice every day for the rest of my life how I go to this school. And so every single day from that point on, third grade, every recess from third to the end of eighth grade, I played basketball every single day. And then I remember going to whether I was alone or I had friends, I did it every day. And I remember I went to the playground advisor, and I was like, "Hey, could you teach me how to play basketball?" And he knew how to play basketball, and he taught me how to play basketball. And then from there, I was like, man, I gotta get better. And then we got a hoop at my house, and I played every day till literally it's so dark I couldn't see anything, but I refused to go inside until I finished playing. And then my mom was like, and then eventually I was like, Mom, I want to go to these camps. I want to get better at basketball. And my mom was like, James, I don't know a damn thing about camps. And then but my mom was like, I'll figure it out though. And then she hired someone else. Like one of her employees knew how to he like just kind of knew my situation. He took me to basketball camps, and then that same person is actually the one who ended up teaching me how to drive when I got older and did a lot of stuff for me growing up. But it's crazy how everything connected, and because my mom is not like too prideful where she can't ask for help. She's actually so like for me that she's like willing to ask for help, and that's how I kind of got in this situation. That's why I'm here right now. But that's like my story. Yeah,
that's why we're here right now. Yeah. That's awesome, man. And so how's you and your mom's doing right now?
My mom's working hard. Like, I mean, we're able to, one of her big dreams was to be able to renovate our house, like that we grew up in. And she's doing that right now. And then, we went through some hard times. Like some of our old stories to get robbed all the time. But now it's like we're in a better situation. And my mom's good. She's working hard. She didn't get shut down from the coronavirus because she's like an essential. The shop is like an essential place because it has like groceries and stuff. So
is that back in Washington?
Yes, Washington. So my mom just wears a mask every day and just grinds it out.
And just keeps on grinding. Yeah.
But man, it can't be like that for too long, right? I got to make sure that the next few years, things really, really get into the way I want it to be.
Yeah, man. Well, you've got the plan and you're making the steps happen. So honestly, I'm excited to watch it happen, dude. And I fully support you, and I believe it's only a matter of time.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah. You got to enjoy it while it's happening, though. Or do you feel like you're kind of in a rush to get to that point, or do you think you're kind of like you're smelling the flowers as you go? Let's put it that way.
I mean, like I love the whole experience, right? And it kind of goes back to like what I was saying earlier, like the core beliefs. It's like, man, I know what's gonna happen, but I'm a big believer of God, right? So, or the universe. People can say the universe, God, but the God or the universe, like they know when, and this has been apparent my whole life. They know when things need to happen. I never got things when I needed them. I never necessarily got things when I wanted them to happen. I was like, oh, I need this to happen now, but I actually got them when I needed it to happen. And so I just keep the faith and I keep walking, and then I'm not too concerned about how, like when it's going to happen, because I know it's going to happen. It could happen tomorrow. I could wake up tomorrow and everything could change.
100%, 100%. Yeah, easily. Man.
And so for me, it's. I think the timetable is not really. I can't focus on the timetable and trying to rushing it. It's just about taking every single day and going as hard as I possibly can, because in this industry, it just takes like one. It's just like when I was trying to get a football college scholarship, right? A lot of people were like, "Oh, you're Asian," or like, "You're not that good. Like, it's not going to happen." But I remember I figured it out, and then I got really good, and then I got crap, and then it's just like, man, all it takes is the same philosophy back then. It's like, James, it only takes one college to tell you yes. You can have a million no's. It just takes one yes, and it's kind of the same here, right? You go hard, you put yourself out there, and one yes could change your life.
And I think everybody out there that's listening to this needs to take that to heart, because that applies to everything in life. If you got goals, if you got aspirations, if you got something that you're working on and you're just passionate about, if you keep working at it, failure isn't really an option.
Yeah, exactly.
One of the big quotes that I heard recently. Oh fuck no! I just slipped my mind. We'll skip that. I was trying to reiterate it in my head, and then I just completely lost it. Yeah, let's talk about how your game's changed since the big shutdown as well. You said your mom's still in action. What changed in your details?
It actually was a blessing because I was actually able to sit down and work on music. I think what people don't understand is when you really do music, like you're actually doing music, finding time to create it is actually difficult, because now I'm doing interviews, or I'm doing shows, or I'm doing these networking events. And actually,
wait, you're doing shows?
I mean, right? Oh, like I'm saying, like prior to like the shutdown, like you're like, I was spending so much time trying to do other things, and like that was.
You didn't have time to create.
Yeah, and then so when I was forced to shut down and create, I was able to just really hone in and finish the album. And then now it's just getting busier again, but pretty much I just do a lot of these like online shows. I do shows for like charity and like the Black Lives Matter movement and just a lot of stuff to help the awareness. I'm always doing like ciphers and events. I actually have a cipher this Thursday. I volunteered to go in. I'm always just doing stuff, man. I'm always networking, and
That's crazy, man.
I have a full marketing plan, and with like my like I have interns now for Nyukyung, like my friends.
That's crazy.
So like
for making what, sorry?
I have just interns to figure out how the hell we can scale this and get bigger quicker.
That's awesome, man. How'd you pick your interns?
I mean, those are the same guys that were on my football team. Yeah.
That's crazy. And so they just want to be involved in your business and help you succeed, and then also get a little taste of success too, right?
Yeah, exactly. Make it, start their business, partner, just whatever, right? Like those are my friends. Like those are the people I grew up. Like we literally bled together and sweat together, right? So it was one person, and he brought his friend, and then now his friend is like a part of my team, and he's like a really cool guy. And we're like working on stuff like our Wikipedia and figure out like blocks, and it's just a lot of stuff together.
Yeah. So you said you're involved in performing shows for Black Lives Matter related events. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah. So the Asian community, put me in, we're just trying to do something as a whole, but, they hosted a lot of events. I just did one for the Asian hip hop. And then today I got to edit my performance for this performance coming out on August 2nd. And it's just, all proceeds go to Black Lives Matter movement. And just, it's just trying to make a difference, just do whatever we can, right? Just, just understand that, it's a sensitive time and things are difficult. So just whatever I can do with my platform.
That's the truth, man. That's incredible. I'm happy and proud you're doing that with your platform. What's your take on all the bullshit in that regard?
It's weird because like while my mom was working and stuff, right, and my grandma and stuff like, was take care of me, when I got into sports, I ended up pretty much being raised by a black family, like in a black household, right? I used to spend the night there. I spent all my time there. Like I trained with them, I ate with them. And so my family, my extended family, at least to me, was black, right? But I didn't see color or anything growing up. I didn't care, right? They were just like, these were these people that believed in me. And so, I embraced the culture, which is why is why I speak the way I do and hip hop. And it was more than just being around them. It was like, man, he literally like this is the same coach that used to take me to practice every day and listen to all my bad raps back in the day and help me and stuff. Like this was like my family. Like they took me across like the country. Like they were like, I always stayed with them. Like this is my family, right? And so they raised me. And so I always see, like his kids as like my cousins, like my family. So whenever I see these things happen to these individuals like on the media and people get killed by police, and for me it's just always kind of like, man, like what if that was like my cousin, right? I was like, what if that was my uncle, or like I call him my uncle, right? So it's like, what if like and for me it's a lot more personal because actually I wouldn't be the person I am if it wasn't them directly raising me when I was a kid. And so for me, like I remember growing up, like I saw a lot of like discrimination, not just towards me because I was kind of like that odd person out in the family walking around, but also just like we've been pulled over by like cops and like, I've seen like the discrimination. I've seen like I was actually there.
The unnecessary aggression.
Yeah, I was there. Like I was this 11, 12-year-old kid and I saw it. Like I witnessed it. I was a part of it. Like, or people would scowl at me because I was like the Asian kid and they're like, oh, like, you know what I mean? Like I just saw that stuff growing up. And that was actually a big reason why I did rap, because I thought if I rapped, I'd be able to fit in. And so it wasn't even like at first like, oh, like, I don't know, but maybe if I rap and I like it, like, it'll be, people will like accept me. But it wasn't just me being Asian, but it was also just like, just my uncle being black and I was able to see a lot of the aggressions, and he gave me like the talk when the talk was like, hey man.
Your uncle gave you the talk?
Yeah, he was like, hey man, sometimes like you're going to look different. Like my situation was very weird and unique, but he was just like, because I used to be confused. I was like, hey, uncle, like what's going on? Like, I used to be like, hey man, like I don't get like why they treat you like that, or uncle, why are these people like looking at us weird, or like, you know what I mean? Or like, why are we? And it was just weird. And for me, because, I didn't see color. That's my family, right? So we would walk around, but, he used to just be like, hey man, sometimes like when you look different, or people are going to like think of you a certain way, or they're going to think you're like this kind of person, or they're going to be scared, right? And so you gotta,
they're just gonna be against you or on their guard for one reason or another.
And you gotta be careful, right? And especially at that time, he was like, just gotta be careful, man. Like always be always take precautions, like protect yourself and understand, you know. And obviously, when I separated from my uncle growing up, like as I got older, I didn't worry about those things because I was Asian. But I remember when I was a kid, though, like I just remember like the feelings I had like in the back of that van when we would always drive and stuff, because you know what I mean? Like we just went through weird experiences.
Yeah. I don't know what you mean I don't really know from personal experiences. Like obviously I've grown up with similar like trials and tribulations, but nothing quite as specific as yours, I guess.
Yeah, it was just weird because I was able to see those, like, you know, a lot of the people who support like Black Lives Matter, like when they talk about like their struggles, it's very personable and it's difficult for people to understand because it's their life and because, you know, they experience things that other people don't because of being a certain color. It was weird because I was just kind of like this odd person in this in this family. And so I was, you know, because cops, you know, if they pull you over, something happens, they might not see that I was in the back or something, or they come over to search us for no reason, and then they see this Asian kid in the back, and then it's almost like, who is that? Like, what's going on? You know what I mean?
Yeah. But what the hell is this?
And I caught on real quick, like, hey, this is not right. My uncle didn't do anything wrong. Like you know what I mean? Like,
so it was kind of after a couple of those facts that he had to break it down to you.
Yeah, and he was just like, because I used to ask, but hey, like, I don't really get it. Like, what's going on? You know what I mean? And then he's just used to like explain to me the situations. It was like, hey, man, like, in this world, not everyone's going to love you, or it's like, it's not always going to be like, it's not always all love. Because, you know, I was still young. I was pretty naive. I was just like all about like love and like, this is my family. Like this, I love these people. Like, that's just, I'm still like that. But like, I know a lot more than when I was a kid, you know?
Yeah. Man, it sounds like again, I'm going back to your great, amazing support system. It sounds like that's what's kind of built you into this dope dude you appear to be today.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I don't believe in really being humble, but I believe in being grounded, you know?
Yeah, there's humble with confidence. I don't know a word for it, but
yeah, because all humble means is like, I think if you look up the dictionary, it's about like being lower or like putting yourself, being meek, and the definition is actually really bad. It's all about appeasing others, and actually I don't care about appeasing others. I was reading this book by Russ, and Russ was like, you should never be afraid to shine your light on someone else, because the truth is, if their light was shining bright too, it wouldn't blind them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. What is this book by Russ? I actually haven't heard of a book by him.
I think it's like it's called like There Are No Ceilings or something. But a lot of my philosophy in life like aligns with Russ, actually, the confidence and just what he talked about. But that book was really like, it gave me the confidence to just be like, you know what, like there's no point in me being like, oh, like I'm kind of good, or like, no, like I know I'm the best, and that's kind of it. Like I don't have to sit here and worry about offending others, because the truth is, like I know who I am. I know the work I put in, right? And then
I like that, man. I think that's dope. How do you respond to someone? Because I'm sure this happens all the time, where people see that personality and they think you're like fuck this guy, he's an asshole. Like, why is he coming in all confident? Like, how do you take the people who shy away from that, or like how do you respond to that?
I think the big thing is they get to know me, right? I get to talk to them, and I'm never like.
So it doesn't shy you away. It doesn't push you back. You just literally keep on talking your shit, and it eventually comes through.
Yeah, because I'm also not like unnecessarily like, I'm also not just like, I'm more about, I've always been about like my work speaking for itself and going hard. But it's like, if someone asks me, right, or if it comes into conversation, I'm never one to like take a step back. I'm more like, I know I'm the best, right? Like, yeah.
I feel you there, man, and that's why that fourth place hit so hard then.
Yeah, and because of sports, I'm so competitive. I hate losing more than I like winning.
Yeah.
And so whenever I lose, but it's never like, it's weird because I'm never like, oh, I should have won. It's more like, hey, I wonder like what I could have, like what could I have done better? How could I improve? How can I work on it? I'm very like problem solving oriented. Like I'm all about figuring out the issue, the root causes, and attacking it from different angles to improve myself, because I'm also open to growth, and I'm very open to hearing people's opinions. But internally, I know I'm the best. Like that's how I operate. I'm obsessed with improvement. I'm obsessed with growth because I don't think you can't really stay the same, right? You're either getting worse or you're getting better.
That's the truth. There's no stagnant. You can't really stay still.
Exactly.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. When have you reached points of doubt though, like heavily, or like have you had any big like kind of fallouts in the last little while?
It's just I think that has a lot. So I read another book by one of my mentors growing up, who helped me because I didn't have a dad. So growing up, I sought out mentors to help improve my life skills.
Yeah.
And one of my mentors, one of his books, right? I was reading it. Like I had called. I was talking to him on the phone, and then I was like, "Hey man, I need the book." And then I was reading the book, and so he was just saying this. It's called "Fuck Your Feelings." That's what the book is called, right?
Fuck your feelings, yeah.
And so he was explaining to me how 95% of our decisions in our lives are actually based upon how we feel. And the other 5% is based on logic and what makes sense. And so that was a staggering number to me because with music, I always noticed that I had like a lot of ups and downs. Like I'd be really emotional. I'd be really sad. I'd be very emotions dictated how I wrote and how I made music. But the thing is, once I read that book, I realized that all those lows, like obviously I have doubts sometimes, I get like sad and stuff, but I can always figure out the root cause. It's just like going back to me wanting to solve problems, but it's just usually from like lack of sleep or lack of hydration or just
some external factor.
There's so many things that affect mood, and that's what I learned in the book.
That's the truth, man. And that's why I've been getting into a little bit of meditation lately, and I'm starting to understand the value of kind of just like shutting up your brain and listening to what your body actually wants. Because if you actually know what to listen for, you'll feel that hunger in your stomach, or you'll feel that sleepiness in your eyes, even though that's not where it is. It's all in your brain, right? It's all just like little pings and messages being sent into your brain. But if you like center in and listen, you'll know exactly what you need.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's kind of something I'm recently getting into.
It can really change your life, right? Like that, and like positive affirmations, and even fasting. I do a lot of fasting.
Fasting. Tell me, like, is that like what is it when you do the morning fasting?
I do like intermittent fasting on the days.
Intermittent, that's what it is. Yeah,
and Sundays I do a full fast, like the whole day, and then it helps me like detox and. Just everything's about like I take cold showers for like I do a lot of stuff, right?
It's all for a reason though, right? And it all has like kind of you can measure its impact.
Yeah, and it's just like, man, like I want to be an optimal human being. Like there's a lot of things I need to do. I need to live it, and I need to put things into practice.
I agree. Speaking of affirmations, I don't know how you do it. I had a buddy. Let's hear how you do it first, and I'll tell you what. I had some guy tell me his, and I took into that. So. Let's hear your positive affirmation rituals.
So it started off with this like my friend's ex bought him this like pack, and it's called Sacred Power reading cards, and all you do is just take a card every day, and that's how it started a couple months ago. But now interesting,
and it's just like a positive affirmation random card.
Yeah, and then after that, like I would read that daily, and then now it's more so like I have these affirmations written where I can always see them, and then I always say it to myself, and for me, it's also about changing my language about how I say things. I don't use the word can't anymore. All can't it just means you won't.
There you go.
Right? And just changing the language, because I realize just how powerful, like what you put into this universe, what you say, like words have so much power. And
that's the truth, man. Everything's energy in that sense. And if you want it to be positive or negative, you've got control there.
So that's how I do my affirmations. It's just making sure my language every day is good, and then. Whenever I say something or I feel like something's negative that I'm saying, I change it and like, no, actually, I am that good. I am that.
I dig that, man. I dig that. This guy I came across, I used to work as a bartender, and this guy sat at my bar, super, super confident, super, super happy-go-lucky dude. We got to talk in a couple hours. I came to know he was really successful, and he was just in town. This was Stampede of last year. One of the information or one of the tidbits that he gave me that kind of helped me since then, he told me one of his rituals was every morning he gets up and he writes down on the left side of a page all the things he's thankful for, and on the right side of the page he writes down all the things that he's going to be thankful for. So kind of like bringing it into reality.
Oh, I like that.
So it's dope, man. And he told me he's got like books and books, because he was an older guy. He's probably in his like 60s or something. And he's like, yeah, I got books and books, like stacked shelves of like those like affirmations. And I'm like, that's dope. So I tried to do it. It didn't really work out for me because it was a bit too much writing. typically used to computers and stuff, but I still kind of follow that same mentality. Whereas if I'm having a shit day, I'll just wake up and I'll go through the things I'm thankful for, and then the things that I'm gonna be thankful for. Which honestly, man, those things are infinite at this point.
For sure. And like being grateful for what you have is always good, right? That's very important.
That's the truth. Yeah. So listen, we're getting into almost over an hour here. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we call it a day?
Just continue to create, empower people, educate, continue to make a difference.
Exactly.
And no matter what you think, right, your word does matter, and what you say is very important. Other than that, I have a new album called Trap Harmonics that's currently out, if you guys want to listen to that. But other than that, just continue to be good people.
And that's what it is, man. Thank you for joining us so much, man. And so that's Nyukyung. And if you're gonna look him up, it's Nyukyung. And I recommend checking him out. His music's absolutely incredible, and you'll see his progression. Honestly, man, one of the biggest things that stood out to me is like you have absolutely professional level releases, especially with Trap Harmonics, man. I couldn't get over how high quality the sounding was.
Man, thank you so much, man. We really work on it. We try to be we make the best of. I mean, all of that was recorded in my producer's room, and so yeah.
That's crazy. But thank you so much for joining me, though, man.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
cool.
Of course.
And that was Nyukyung, everybody. If you want to learn more about him or about what we do at ReEvolve Media, go to www.reevolvemedia.com/Nyukyung. That's Nyukyung. And just to sign off, we've got another track from his album Trap Harmonics. This one's called Backwood. Enjoy, everyone, and take care.
Test me, we gon' solve it, let it slide. Now rollin' with my team, yeah, I'm with my slime. Yeah, you know we shootin' high, gang, don't play with my time. Now I'm chasing home, my dreams can find me in the sky. Got this money on my mind back, I'm one of a kind king. Living life so free, not even in my prime. It all started, I was 17. I ain't like the way I lived, there was a better me. See, all my friends were in the streets while I was writing beats. And they were selling on the block, I wouldn't let them lead. I'm trying to be different, giving credit to my moms. I'm steady on a mission, it wasn't really that long. Ooh, yeah. Killing new king to the dawn, realest out here and beyond. Better I'm in it than gone. Real talk, you know I got a couple homies, they gon' ride. Got some brothers rolling with me, they ain't afraid to die. If they wanna test me, we gon' solve it, let it slide. Now rollin' with my team, yeah, I'm with my slime. Yeah, you know we shootin' high, gang, don't play with my time. Now I'm chasing home, my dreams can find me in the sky. Got this money on my mind back, I'm one of a kind king. So free, not even in my prime. Can you hear me? I'm coming so sincerely. Can you feel peace, positive for those near me? Tell me, can you feel me? What you wanna do with it? I'm on the mic, act fool with it, proving to be one of the best in the booth. And I'm dreaming it's loose and not losing, I'm boosted, I do it, my crew is amazing. Came in a place where it's hard to be great, and I'm chasing my dreams, hoping not to be late. I'm on pace, weight is king. Real talk, you know I got a couple homies, they gon' ride. Got some brothers rolling with me, they ain't afraid to die. If they wanna test me, we gon' solve it, let it slide. Now rollin' with my team, yeah, I'm with my slime. Yeah, you know we shootin' high, gang, don't play with my time. Now I'm chasing home, my dreams can find me in the sky. Got this money on my mind back, I'm one of a kind king. Living life so free, not even in my prime. Real talk, you know I got a couple homies, they gon' ride. Got some brothers rolling with me, they ain't afraid to die. If they wanna test me, we gon' solve it, let it slide. Now rollin' with my team, yeah, I'm with my slime. Yeah, you know we shootin' high, gang, don't play with my time. Now I'm chasing home, my dreams can find me in the sky.